Vince, how are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good,
Yeah.
good. 10 days out. How are you feeling?
Let's go. Feeling great. Feeling ready. I was just thinking about this. I wrote it down in my planner like 2.5 months ago when I first got the contract for the fight. UFC 265, August 7th, victory. So every day has been literally a focus in that area.
So we're out in Syndicate. You told me off camera that you were here 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Why come back?
I needed a real good team atmosphere. That was something that I've been missing for years, I think. I've always had pretty good coaching and some good guys to work with, but as far as a full team and a regular structured schedule, something I was kind of lacking. So, me and John Wood had good success back in the day, so I'm back. I'm trying to keep that streak undefeated.
How important is the team atmosphere?
For me right now, as far as my mental health and sanity and day-to-day grind, even though I'm solo grinding, everybody else is in their own solo grind, so we're all together. We all understand what we're all putting into us. We all understand the risk. We all understand what we want out of it. So in everybody's mind here, it's victory that we're all after. So.
Who are some of your training partners this camp?
My main one has been Jay Perry. I want to give a big shout out to that dude. He's been great. Also, Cameron Els came down. Got a little bit of working with Gavin Tucker, Brendan Loughnane. Who the hell? Jerry Shapiro, the Shapiro brothers. Both those guys have been sick. The quality of the guys that I'm training with here is phenomenal for me. It blows my mind.
Before we get to your upcoming fight, no leg kicks is probably the best. Probably the best hashtag on Twitter. Just talk about it.
Yeah, well, I think if anybody watched the last fight, we know exactly what we're talking about, right? It felt like Lieutenant Dan after the fight. Just no legs, I was trashed. I literally still have physical damage on my legs from that fight. Probably never be the same, but it's what it is. I take the lesson for what it was and learn from it. It was a hole that had been exposed before that I haven't fixed. I had to get the hard lesson, fine, if I'm not going to take it the easy way. So, but yeah, no leg kicks. I still want to get that on a shirt and walk out with it.
That's a perfect shirt, perfect merch. With that fight and Chris Gutierrez and those leg kicks, we saw, last year and this year, people have been using those calf kicks. Do you feel like you were the martyr and you were the first person to?
I was the first one to show what it can do, really, I think. So part of that, yeah, so everybody else, I'm sorry about your legs. I don't care though, I got stopped. Shut up, tough it out, we're all gonna deal with it.
Talk about your Achilles tear, because that's a really massive injury. In the NBA, that's could be a career ender. And you're already back, a year later.
Yeah, roughly a year. I tore at the end of August last year. I didn't even know you could tear those. It blew my mind. I was literally shadow boxing. I was warming up, getting going, and I thought somebody kicked my leg out. Felt and heard a pop and hit the ground. I was like, the hell was that? I got up, and when I went to stand, it felt like one leg was on a waterbed. It was the very bizarre feeling. Went right to the doctor, went right and got an MRI. Literally that same day, I was in California when it happened, and I had forgot to update my whereabouts to USADA. So I got a strike because I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Tore the Achilles an hour later, and then I got a call from Jeff Nowitzki saying that a COVID test I had submitted came back positive. So yeah, that was the triple threat, and that ended up costing. They pulled Ricky from his fight, which was the following week.
Oh, that's right.
Right. That was all the same day, which really sucks. I went and got another COVID test. So I was in California, right, with torn Achilles. I drove back that same day with the torn Achilles and went and got a COVID test the next day because I felt fine. And that one came back negative. So it was a false positive that kind of ruined the fight. So that's almost worse than it actually being sickness. Almost, depending on the level of sickness.
Was Ricky pissed off at you?
No, not at all. I think he's been a little gun shy with his own Achilles ever since. He's like, well, because it was kind of a freak accident. It was literally just shadow boxing. And I had just gotten back to training from the Gutierrez fight. I had fractured my orbital, which sidelined me for about a month and a half, and then getting back in the swing of things, and that happened. No, thankfully Ricky didn't hold any grudges.
With the Achilles tear, what was the healing process like, and what was the PT like?
was a nightmare. I had to go in. I had to have 2 surgeries on it because they, like a month after I got the first surgery, they were worried about infection. All my blood work and stuff came back fine, but they wanted to. It wasn't showing the right stuff, so I had to go back in. Got a longer scar now, and yeah, and then I was sidelined, literally sidelined. Like I couldn't train, couldn't run, couldn't do anything for a month. I was at the house. 3 more months after that, I was sitting and watching everybody. From that point, I started lightly doing some upper body stuff, some weightlifting, and kind of getting back in the swing of working out. But man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That was it's definitely one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. Man, yeah.
I mean, in other big sports, I mean, that's...
Yeah, exactly. And I was a little afraid of that, really. I mean, but on hindsight, like, it really made me up my day-to-day routines. I finally got on a better sleeping schedule, which is something that's been a nightmare my entire life. Eating better, taking all my supplements on a regular basis, stretching in the morning, like literally being a more professional athlete. So, I mean, trying to make the best out of the worst case scenario.
Drako Rodriguez. When they came to you with that name, what were your thoughts?
My initial thought, I know that name. So the guy Eamon knocked out, and then I was like, oh dang, I thought Eamon was gonna lose that fight. By the way, it was going that first round because I thought Drako was doing some good stuff, and I think he was looking for that uppercut based on my fight with Eamon because I was landing uppercuts. So I'm taking credit for that a little bit, but not the knockout. That's on you, bro. Yeah, I'm like, cool, let's do it. Like, let's get me back in there. That's like 3 months away. I'm back into training now. Finally settled in here at Syndicate. Let's go. Been ready ever since.
What are your thoughts on him as an opponent?
I think he's tough. I think he's pretty tough everywhere. I know he's got some pro boxing experience too. I just want to be better, really. That's all I'm looking at. When I look at him, I see like he mirrors myself a little bit. I think we both got similar, like to kind of stand up. Still got some submission wins on the record. Kind of hard to fight everywhere, and that's me. So I think we're gonna have a good fight. Looking forward to it.
What's your prediction?
Knockout. Every time I visualize, I'm getting a finish somehow. If not knockout, I'm hurting him on the feet and subbing him on the ground, and that's every time I play through it. I mean, it's different stuff that's getting me there, but I'm finishing. So.
Do you think your job's on the line with this fight?
I do. Yeah. And that's okay. I put myself in this position. Really, I think half the fights I haven't really shown everything I can do or the potential I'd like to be showing. And again, that's on me. Normally, I prefer going forward. I'm aware of the level we're at. I'm trying to pick cleaner shots. I'm trying a little more cerebral. I'm in my own way in some of that sense. So I'm getting out of the way now.
And I mean, this is basically, everyone says it, but this is like a 2.0 version of you, right? I mean,
I don't like to say that because everybody says it, right? Yeah. No, it's same but better. Right? I'm going with that.
And finally, I mean, your first fight back is in front of fans.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that feel?
I'm thankful. I love a crowd. I don't care if they're booing me or for me, whatever. Just a lot of noise, people screaming in the arena. Like, I'm grateful. I get to have a crowd and be on a big pay-per-view. This is my first time being on a pay-per-view, I believe, too. So let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm amped.
I could ask actually this. There was a big bantamweight fight last weekend with.
It's a bunch of them.
Yeah, exactly. So, what were your thoughts on Yanez versus Costa, and then what were your thoughts on Sandhagen versus Dillashaw?
Yanez versus Costa was fun. Costa surprised me with some of the speed of his jab, and I think Yanez off rhythm a little bit early. It's like, oh shit, what the hell was that? It wouldn't let him settle. Yanez did a good job toughing that out and found his own groove, and that's exactly, Yanez is that kind of fighter. I mean, that was a great fight. Loved it, loved the matchup. I was eyeing both those guys because I'm probably looking at, I was thinking Hot Cheetos versus the winner of fucking Dr. Pepper and Reese's. So.
Perfect. And what about Sandhagen versus Dillashaw?
Great fight, amazing fight. I think Dillashaw showed the right stuff coming back to the sport. I think Sandhagen did all the right stuff, showing that he's been in the sport and belongs here. I mean, that was a great fight. Everywhere that fight went, that was a tough and rugged fight. The decision was a little, I don't know. Still, I mean,
who'd you have it for?
I had Sandhagen up by 1 round, but I mean, I could understand the case because there was a control, there was yada yada. I weigh damage heavier than some of that stuff. So, and there was probably a 10-8 round in the second round for Sandhagen. So I put my chips in Sandhagen, and I was like, cool, he's got this. And then they said Dillashaw. I was like, wow, oh, it's like that. It's crazy. But I mean, I don't think either one of their stock goes down. I think it raised it for both of them, so it's fine.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Vince.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead and shout your sponsors and shout your social media.
The best place to find me is probably Instagram at Vendetta135. On Twitter is the same, at Vendetta145. 35 rather, 45, not anymore. Big shout out to Iridium, my management. They've been awesome this entire time. Literally checking on me day in, day out. Who else? I want to give a special shout out to Jay. He's been my battle brother throughout this whole camp. Big shout out to that guy. Yeah, tune in, UFC 265. Let's go, baby.